Please like this video. It will really help this story reach as many people as possible. Thank you so much for your support. The laugh landed like a beer can tossed over the fence. Red cup in her hand, Lily grinned at our guests and went for the punchline that wasn't a punchline. Ethan never takes risks. A little cubicle is his natural habitat. Brooke, her college friend with the bottled hair and permanent smirk, leaned on the patio rail. Then hand him over. With that salary, I'll take him now. The yard went quiet. The mesquite smoke from the grill hung low. Nate, my neighbor and oldest friend in Austin, glanced at me over his paper plate. He didn't step in. He didn't have to. This was mine. I set the tongs down, wiped my hands, and looked at Lily. Help me out, I said even. What was the funny part? Bragging at my expense or pretending you ever respected my ambitions? She rolled her eyes. Don't be so sensitive. If it's a joke, point me to the punchline. Silence again. Brooke shifted, chewing on her straw. The neighbor couple stared at the grass. You could hear the traffic from South Lamar when the breeze changed. Lily tried to wave it off. Okay, fine, sorry. Relax. Noted. I slid the steaks off the grill and walked inside. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have killed the music right there and sent everyone home. I let the night limp along, but the air was ruined. People ate fast, offered thin compliments, and drifted out. Brooke hugged Lily at the gate and murmured something that earned a snort. I stacked plates, ran water, and listened to the faint laughter 2 steps away from me, as if none of it touched the kitchen floor where I stood. The house went quiet by midnight. Lily padded through the living room, scrolling her phone, face lit up. I leaned on the doorframe. You meant that? I told her. She didn't look up. It was teasing. You like teasing? I folded my arms. I can do teasing. She flicked the phone face down on the couch. You're making it bigger than it was. I'm setting scale, I replied. You made it bigger when you wanted a laugh. You're acting like a cop, she muttered. I'm acting like a husband who's paying attention. I pointed at the sink. You left the grill tools in water. Put them to dry before they rust. She stared a second too long, then grabbed a towel, banging metal as if the pan had done her wrong. I went to bed without another word. Next morning, the kitchen looked staged for a photo. I knew the type of apology it was. Not words, not change, just surface. The day was quiet until sundown. Then the cold started. Over the next week, Lily found new hobbies. Girls' night became a talent show. Late texts. Home past midnight. The phone always screened down on the table like it owed back taxes. She'd leave to-go containers on the counter, lipstick circles on wine glasses by the sink, damp towels slumped on the hallway chair. If I asked a plain question, she'd play bored. It's social, she said. I'm not on your schedule. You're not, I answered. You're on our schedule. There's a difference. You're controlling. I'm clear. She kept pushing. I could have argued. I could have chased. I didn't. On the 5th night, she called it another girl's thing. I stopped negotiating. I cut our little rituals off like a technician flipping breakers. I removed her from our shared playlists. No more Saturday brunch. No spontaneous patio drinks. I didn't announce it. I just stopped showing up for the show that kept making me the punchline. I added a new policy at home. At 11, the door went on the chain and the lights went out. Access to me was earned, not assumed. I wrote it on the whiteboard by the fridge. Quiet hours. 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. At 11:08, the doorbell rattled. My phone buzzed. Seriously? She said from the porch. Heels clicked against the wood. You locked it. You told me you'd be back by 10, I replied. I'm asleep. You're not. Now I am. I let the call go. I slept like a stone for the first time in weeks. In the morning, I met Nate at the coffee spot on South Lamar. He'd been through a divorce 3 years back. Came out with fewer illusions and a cleaner closet. He sat with me by the window, elbows on the table. You're not keeping the peace, he said as soon as I finished. You're hemorrhaging your self-respect. I stirred my coffee. You didn't even ask how the steaks turned out. Because I already know the answer. He pointed with his chin. You're the guy who prevents grid failure. That's your job. You don't melt down. But you don't run a grid by letting someone throw switches to see what happens. Good metaphor. It's not a metaphor, he said. It's your life. You want it to stop? Set the bar and enforce it. I nodded. Then that's what I'll do. Do you want to save it or end it? He asked. I want dignity, I said. He held my stare. Then talk to a lawyer. And when you make a rule, keep it. That afternoon, I called an attorney. Her name was Dana Pierce. She had a calm voice and the kind of tone that made people sit up straight without being told. Texas is no fault, she explained. We file standard. If you want this clean, we plan for a settlement and keep it out of court. But there's one thing you need to expect. What's that? When she realizes you're serious, she'll switch tactics. Dana let it hang. Are you willing to hold ground when that happens? Yes. Then start documenting now. Times, inconsistencies, spending. Not to weaponize, just to keep the facts from getting rewritten. I thanked her and hung up. That night, Lily came home at 11:30. The chain engaged, me on the couch with a notebook. She called. I let it ring and then answered. Unlock it, she said. Quiet hours, I told her. You're being ridiculous. I'm being consistent. I'm in heels, she snapped. And I told you the policy. I clicked the call off, set my phone down, and kept writing. The door thudded. Another call came. I didn't take it. 15 minutes later, I heard her walk around to the back patio, where I'd left the low gate unlatched for the dog. She banged once, then stopped. The next morning, she was at the kitchen island with a half smile and a careful tone. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still listening, please hit the like button on this video. It really helps YouTube show this story to more people. Thank you so much for the support. Now let's get back to the story. Okay, she started, hands around a mug. I was out with Brooke. I should have texted. I'm sorry for being late. I poured myself water. That apology is noted. I'm trying here, Ethan. I'm glad you're trying, I replied. Because this isn't sustainable. She touched my arm, a rare gesture for her lately. Let's do dinner tonight. My treat. Can't, I answered. I have a late meeting. Her face cooled. Figures. What she didn't know, my late meeting was with Dana. I signed the engagement letter and we mapped a calm strategy. I walked out of Dana's office with a list and a line in my head. I don't raise my voice. I changed the rules. 2 evenings later, I came home early. Lily was in the kitchen, speakerphone on, laughing with her sister, Maya. I stood out of sight by the hallway and listened because I had to know whether I was imagining the shape of this thing or just late to noticing it. He's too proud, Lily told Maya. He'll file first. I need it to look mutual. Give it a couple weeks. He'll cave. Maya said something I couldn't catch. Lily kept going. No, I don't want a war. I want the house and a decent slice of his retirement. You know the guy from that investment event? He said the same. My chest didn't tighten. My face didn't heat. I just watched the facts line up. When she hung up, I walked past her to the pantry without a word. 5 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Maya. Ethan, she said quietly. Can you talk? I can. She hesitated. I love my sister, but I can't co-sign the way she's spinning this. She's been telling people you're emotionally distant, that you're detached. She's setting up a story. I heard. She also floated that she met an investment guy at that fundraiser, Maya added. She says he thinks she should ask for the house and part of your retirement. I'm not getting in the middle more than this, but you deserve clarity. I appreciate it. If you need someone to track schedules or confirm anything, I have a contact, she said, voice lower. Private investigator. Use it if you need it. I didn't commit. I didn't need a stranger for this. I needed to stop being a floor mat. The next day, I moved quietly. I kept timestamps. I snapped photos of the lipstick on the glass, the takeout left open, the towel on the hall chair that smelled of chlorine and perfume. I copied our bank transactions, noting the new bars and ride shares pulling from the joint account. When she said she was with Brooke, I wrote it down. When she later said it was Jess, I wrote that down too. She noticed the change. She didn't like it. What's with the clipboard? She asked one night when I logged her 12:37 entrance. It's a notebook. For what? Auditing the house. For keeping track of my life, I replied. That's creepy. It's organized. She flinched, then tried a different face. Can we just have a normal night? Movie? Something easy. I'm not canceling quiet hours for a movie. It's not a law. It is in this house. She laughed without humor. You're not fun anymore. I'm not a clown, I told her. Find your entertainment elsewhere. 2 days later, she softened again. She bought groceries for the first time in weeks. She made pasta, set the table, and lit a candle as if we were auditioning for a photograph. I came home to the smell and saw the effort. It almost worked on me because I'm human. Truce, she offered, chin up. Truce depends on terms, I answered, setting my keys down. She served plates. No more jokes about work, she said. No more late nights. We reset. For how long? I asked. Don't be like that, she said. Just be present. I'm here, I replied. I'm always here. She reached over, squeezed my hand. Okay. The pasta was good. The company was quiet. She didn't touch her phone. After dinner, she slid closer on the couch. I didn't move away. I also didn't change my rules. When the clock hit 11, I stood. Quiet hours, I said. She frowned. You're really sticking to that? Yes. The next night, she slipped back to form. 11:15, phone off, heels in hand, door on the chain. I logged it and slept. Friday arrived. My day at work ran hot. System planning for heat stress, power trading windows, mitigation if something trips. I checked out at 6, grabbed tacos, and watched a ball game on low. At 9, I called Lily. Music pounded behind her. You with Brooke? I asked. Let's call it that. She yelled back, breathy. Don't like it? There's a simple fix, file. It's already handled, I said. The paperwork was filed yesterday. You'll be served Monday. And no, you're not getting the house. The music muted on her end either because she walked somewhere quieter or because the connection shifted. You're joking. I'm consistent. You filed over a few nights out? Her voice went sharp. That's who you are? You'd into marriage because I have friends. I filed because you prepped an exit months ago, I answered. Because you wanted me to go first and feed your story about a cold husband. Because you already negotiated what you thought you'd take. What are you even? Maya gave me clarity. I said. That's enough. There was a long pause, then the call ended. At 1:30 in the morning, the door shook. She hammered on it. I got up, flipped the hall light, and opened it with the chain still hooked. She stood in the porch light with mascara somewhere it didn't start and hair I'd seen done for a night, not for us. You did this over a couple parties? She demanded. I unhooked the chain. I did this because you treated our marriage like a prop. You wanted the optics and the assets. You were counting on me to play my role. You're being cruel. I'm being clear. I walked to the table and laid a folder down. Inside, times, contradictions, transactions. Nothing salacious. Just the spine of a pattern. She stared at the papers, then at me. Who fed you this? She asked. Your sister told the truth, I replied. She closed her eyes like she was solving math she didn't study for. When she looked again, the tone changed in a heartbeat. Can we talk? She asked, voice soft. Please. We're talking. Not like this. She reached for my wrist. I didn't let her hold it. Sit with me. Just us. No, I checked the clock. On Monday, you'll get the documents. For now, the new rule is simple. We communicate only about logistics, through email or through lawyers. I'll be at Nate's for the next stretch. The house stays calm. You're leaving? Her mouth opened, then closed. For now, I said. I'm not staying to host your narrative. She went pale, then angry, then soft. I didn't mean the thing at the barbecue, she offered quickly. It came out wrong. I was nervous. Everyone was staring. I made a dumb joke to lighten the mood. You made it to impress Brooke, I answered. And it wasn't the first time. I can fix it, she insisted. I already did, I told her. I picked up a duffel I'd packed earlier with enough clothes for a week and a stack of files. The house is not a stage anymore. You're overreacting. I'm realigning. Ethan, can we start again? She tried to step closer. I'll be home every night. I'll cook. You'll do what you needed to do months ago, I said. You're good at temporary adjustments when you sense your seat getting warmer. That's not fair. It's accurate. I walked to the door. She followed. So that's it. Her voice spiked again. You get to decide the whole thing unilaterally? I decided I won't participate in a game I didn't agree to, I replied. You can tell any story you want. I'll live a life I can stand by. I stepped into the night. As I reached my truck, she called after me. What am I supposed to tell people? Tell them the truth, I said over my shoulder. You wanted an exit with perks. You got an exit. Nate's spare room felt like a hotel with taste, a lamp that actually worked, a clean dresser, a quiet ceiling fan. He waited for me at the counter, beer in hand, eyebrows up. How bad? He asked. Order of operations bad, I said. She thought she'd write the script and hand me my lines. He handed me a water. You sticking to email only? Yes. Then turn your phone face down to the wall and sleep, he said. Tomorrow we pick up your essentials. Thanks, I replied. He smirked. Don't thank me. I get to feel useful. Saturday morning, we drove to the house. Lily's car wasn't there. I let us in, walked to the master, and folded shirts with the efficiency of habit. Nate carried boxes to the truck. When Lily's sister called, my phone showed it. I answered. Are you safe? Maya asked. I'm fine. She's rattled, Maya said. She'll swing between sweet and angry. That's her pattern. I know. She's going to call me in tears, Maya went on. She'll tell me you blindsided her. I'll listen, but I'm not lying for anyone. I'm not asking you to, I said. I appreciate what you did. Just be careful with Brooke, Maya added. She feeds drama. She'll try to rescue Lily and make a show of it. She already auditioned at my grill. Maya exhaled. Then after lunch, I emailed Lily the logistics, utilities, trash day, who gets which furniture, how to split the dog schedule until things are official. I copied Dana on the thread. An hour later, Lily replied with a different tone than the porch. Thank you, she wrote. I didn't expect you to handle it like this. I'm willing to talk settlement. I sent back the proposed split. Fair, clean, straight down the middle. No surprises, no traps, no emotional IOUs. Another hour, and the phone rang. Lily. I answered from Nate's patio while he watered the basil that refuses to die in Texas sun. We can meet, she said cautiously. Not lawyers. Just us. Public place. We're not meeting without counsel, I answered. So you want to make this adversarial? She tested. I want it documented. You're treating me like a threat. I'm treating the situation like what it is, I said. You wanted the house and my retirement. That's a threat to my work and my future. I won't do this on handshakes. I said that out of frustration. You said it because you meant it then, I replied, and you might mean it tomorrow. Paper keeps us honest. She sighed. You won't even hear me out. I'm hearing you, I said. I just don't confuse hearing with agreeing. A pause. Then she tried a softer angle. Can I at least come by tonight to talk? No lawyers. Just us. No, I said. Email me. You loved me. I honored you, I corrected. Love is a different conversation. She hung up. Nate stepped back onto the patio and handed me a plate. Eat, he said. You talk better with barbecue in you. Sunday drifted by with the kind of quiet I used to have before I let noise fill my house. I went for a long drive out toward Dripping Springs. I thought about what I would keep and what I'd drop. Monday came. Lily got served while she was at the salon. She texted me 3 words. You are cruel. I ignored it. By Wednesday, the emails shifted again. She wanted to do this amicably. She suggested we keep the optics friendly. She asked if we could plan a shared statement. Every line was an attempt to control the story. I offered factual sentences only. We have decided to separate. We appreciate privacy. She countered with mutually agreed upon decision based on differences, loaded words that meant nothing. I held my ground. Brooke tried her hand on Friday. She called on speaker while I was cleaning out my office desk for good measure. So, hero, Brooke opened, sugary and sharp. You made your move. I did. You always seemed so steady. I guess steady men can be rash. It wasn't rash, I said. It was overdue. Lily's devastated, she said, pressing the word. You didn't have to go nuclear. Filing paperwork is not nuclear, I replied. It's adult. Tell her to keep it adult. So cold, she murmured. I didn't peg you for ice. You pegged me for soft, I answered. Adjust your pegs. She laughed, fake light. You think this makes you strong? I think it makes me honest, I said. And I think you should stop advising Lily about other people's money. Click. She was gone. 10 minutes later, Lily emailed saying Brooke would be handling some communications. I replied that all communication stays with attorneys. Brooke didn't email again. That weekend, Lily knocked on Nate's door. He looked at me. I looked at him. He opened it an inch. She needs to talk to you, she said from the porch. She needs to email, he replied. Ethan, she called past him. Please. I came to the door. What is it? She wore simple clothes, no performative hair, a neutral face. It was a different costume. I don't want this to turn ugly, she said. We built a life. We can at least part with decency. I'm modeling decency, I said. She shifted weight. I don't want to lose the house. You have an apartment in walking distance of your gym, I reminded her. Use it. I'll buy you out of your share. You knew that when you started your plan. I didn't plan anything, she said quickly. You tested how far you could push before I respected myself. I answered. You got your answer. I said I was sorry. You were sorry the night you set the table, I said. And you were late again the next night. I told you it was Brooke's birthday. 2 nights after it already happened. She folded her arms. You're twisting everything. I'm keeping records, I replied. She studied my face for a crack. There wasn't one. Nate held the door steady without needing instruction. Lily exhaled. Fine, she said. Send me the settlement language. I'll review it with counsel. I already did, I said. Check your email. She checked it on her phone right there. Eyes flicking. 50-50. You're sticking with that? Yes. She looked up. You're not fighting me for more? No, I said. I don't need more. I need clean. Something hollowed in her stare then. Because she was expecting a battle she could narrate later. A fight she could call unfair. A posture she could drag me into. I wasn't showing up to that party. Okay, she whispered. She left. I closed the door. Nate raised his eyebrows again. That was your foreign territory scene, he quipped. At my house. Thanks for the stage, I said dryly. The following week we sat with Dana in a clean conference room that smelled like printer toner and old wood. Lily came with her attorney, a man with polite eyes who didn't want a long day any more than I did. We went through the terms. It was boring, which is exactly how you want this to be. There's one request, Lily's attorney said carefully. She would like to keep the house. No, I answered. She's offering to compensate. No, I said again. I don't have to explain that. Lily's expression tightened. I deserve stability. You had it, I replied. You treated it like a spare tire. Dana slid a packet forward. The proposal stands. Split assets, sell the house, or buy out at appraised value. Each keeps retirement separate. No spousal support, no drama. Lily's attorney cleared his throat. We'll need a week. You have 4 days, Dana said. We're keeping this moving. When we left, Lily touched my sleeve in the elevator. We could still try counseling, she said suddenly, quieter than I'd heard her in months. We could say we rushed. We didn't rush, I said. We ignored the slow part for too long. Ethan. We can be decent, I told her. We can't be what we were. We gave that away at a barbecue. Her eyes shone. She blinked fast. That was a joke. It was a mirror, I said. We hit the lobby. I turned left. She turned right. I didn't look back. That night, my phone lit up with a string of messages from mutual friends who'd heard something from somewhere that wasn't me. Dude, what happened? I'm so sorry. Is there anything we can do? I sent the same response to everyone. We separated. I'm fine. Appreciate your support. If they pushed, I repeated it. I didn't give anyone a reason to pick sides. I wasn't building a case. I was building a future. 2 days later, Lily tried one more angle, the overdone sweetness. She appeared at the house before a scheduled pickup of some furniture with a cooler and a tray of brownies, acting like we were neighbors doing favors. I brought this for you, she said bright. You're always forgetting to eat. I'm not, I replied. Can I put them in the fridge? No, thanks. Her smile wobbled. I'm making an effort. You're making a move, I answered. It's a difference. She looked at the cooler like it had betrayed her. Do you have to be so harsh? I have to be consistent. Okay, she snapped. Message received. Good. We moved the furniture. She watched from the doorway, arms cross-wrapped, making sure I didn't take any piece she considered symbolic. I didn't. I took what we agreed on and left. She texted an hour later. You left your sweatshirt. I didn't reply. I wasn't in the market for reasons to revisit. Finalizing took 2 more weeks. Clean signature lines. Standard language. No fireworks. She didn't get the house. She didn't get my retirement. She got half of what we built together, which is what we both earned. We signed in separate rooms. Dana shook my hand and said, You did exactly what you set out to do. I kept my word, I answered. You also kept your dignity, she said. That's not legal advice. That's human advice. I left the building into sun hard enough to stick to your neck and thought about the question Nate asked me that first morning. Save it or end it? The truth is I did both. I ended what needed to end. I saved whatever was left of me. The last time Lily and I spoke directly, she called to ask about the dog schedule and to float one more what if. What if we kept the house market ready for a month and tried? No, I cut in. We're done. So that's it, she said flat. That's it, I confirmed. What am I supposed to tell Brooke? She asked, half ironic, half pleading. Tell her to find a better joke. She didn't answer. I ended the call. I moved into a small place on a quiet street off South Lamar with a garage that fits my truck and a workbench that lets me fix the things I keep putting off. I bought a couch that I actually like, not the one that looked good in a catalog. I made a playlist no one edits but me. I wake before 6, lift, shower, send my morning report, and walk the dog when she's with me. I started grabbing coffee with a woman I met at a friend's cookout, a nurse with a straight laugh and no interest in playing public games. We don't rush. We don't pose. We go to the farmer's market on Saturdays and talk about things that count. At work, my boss pulled me into his office 2 months later. We're opening a new risk strategy team, he said. You're the lead if you want it. I want it, I told him. The truck is paid off, the house proceeds are in my account, and the nights are quiet in the good way. I have fewer plates and more time. People ask sometimes, always the same pattern, always hushed. What happened? The answer doesn't need a sermon. We had a problem of respect. I stopped pretending it was a joke. That's the whole story. The first domino was a red plastic cup in my yard and a line meant to sound clever. The last was my signature under a fair split and a life I don't apologize for. And Lily? I hear things through the grapevine. The apartment she wanted to test is the place she's staying in for real. Brooke still hovers like a camera with legs. The investment guy who gave her advice found a new audience somewhere else. The jokes don't land for her the way they used to. That's not my business anymore. The day I moved the last box into my garage, Nate stopped by. You good? He asked, leaning on the doorway. I'm better than good, I said, wiping my hands on a rag. I've got my piece back. He grinned. See? No grid failure. No grid failure, I echoed. We cracked open cold waters from my new fridge and took in the quiet. Then I said the last sentence I owed the whole story, out loud, mostly to myself. When a man cares about respect, he doesn't yell. He makes the rules and walks when they're broken. I drove the point home the only way it ever sticks, with my feet pointed forward. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I've selected 2 other videos for you that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Feel free to click on them. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.